struggle in Daba as Africans to build an inclusive, sustainable, and resilient sector, one that lifts up our communities, that bridges borders, and protects our shared heritage in the continent.
It's a pan-African travel show which brings the world to us, but mostly Africans, to actually have B2B meetings or business-to-business meetings with other African SMMEs or tour operators. And the value chain of tourism is highly impacted during this period because we get to sign deals, you get to explore our destinations, besides just having meetings.
Okay, indeed, welcome back. Our guest is still Dr. Jonathan Onoja. He's an author, he's a public intellectual, and a security expert. He's joining us from our Abuja studio. And so we were, you were, talking about the benefits of transparency and how things are, ever so slightly getting better and better. But you did say that for the time being, maybe you just score the work of the media generally at, a 50% level, meaning that there is much room for improvement. Okay, now you've been talking about the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. And could you spend a few moments on that body, because there are actually a host of government agencies that have oversight for transparency in the sector. But you have had reason to mention the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. So briefly, tell us what that is for. I mean, this is not something where Nigerians know very much the way they know their football, for instance. Even foreign football clubs, they know it inside out. Perhaps NUPRC, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. So what is that as one of the bodies that are responsible in regard to what we're talking about?
All right, thank you so much once again. Like I did mention earlier, that the PIB that was passed, the PIB bill that was passed in 2021, and then enacted still in 2021, was one of the structure that gave birth to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and on that bill, it gets the NUPRC to manage the PIAs, implement the reforms that are contained in the PIAs. And so the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission is solely in charge of the oil and gas sector, the licensing, the ensuring that investors are actually given exactly what they want, and promoting local content and also promoting the local investors. While doing that, and also with the implementation of the fiscal regime of the PIAs, which has also drive other foreign investors into Nigeria as a destination for an investment. So the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission is fully in charge of the upstream sector, the oil and gas sector, in terms of production, management, and also licenses, including the benefit to host communities.
Okay, there also is, I note here, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. That also, so do some of the functions overlap, or are they separate?
No, they do not actually overlap. It's different, but it's a body, but working together to ensure that there must be this. Like I mentioned, checks and balance, and for not just monopoly for one institution to control entirely the whole processes was the reason for that break. That was just what happened, just to give room for checks and balances.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, talking of which, these checks and balances, perhaps I could get a few of your thoughts on the whole initial. I don't know whether to call it a misconception, but the apprehension that Dangote Refinery's new move, where it said by the end of August there would be a whole paradigm shift in the way products are delivered, the PMS and also diesel are delivered to the consumer, even the end consumer. So that apprehension about we might be looking at a monopoly here, Dangote could become too powerful. What are your thoughts? We spoke about this yesterday, so it would be interesting to get your thoughts on that apprehension, whether it is well-founded or making a mountain out of an anthill.
Well, I don't actually see that as a monopoly. I don't actually see that as a threat to our economy. Rather, it's a complementary role. And, it's because of his, like I said, his belief, his trust. He has seen the transparency. He has seen the level of the leadership. He has seen the visionary leadership in our oil and gas sector under the upstream sector. And that's why he believed that whatever he is doing, while contributing to nation building, is also supporting the government. And so even the government and these institutions, regulatory institutions, are already on their way to see how they can do the turnaround maintenance of our refineries as a way to see how they could also subsidize for Nigerians. Because as it is now, the coming of the Dangote refinery has also reduced that belief and the thought by these independent marketers that they could do and undo.
Yes.
The queues. If you recall the days of the earlier removal of the fuel subsidy by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which actually a saving grace for Nigeria because the corruption that was in the system was becoming too much. And then you see that actually gave room for that open and transparent leadership that we are also seeing in the upstream sector today. So if Dangote is coming in with, supply, it's just trying to actually, reduce the tension that is on Nigerians while we are also working towards the turnaround maintenance of our refinery. So the Dangote refinery is in partnership with the government. And don't forget that the NNPC that was actually now becoming a liability, more of a company, a liability limited company today.
Liability company.
It's also it's also part of the implementations of the PIAs. So Dangote also coming is another aspect of the PIAs that Nigerians are not even aware of. You understand it? See how to support local investors in a way to thrive. You understand? So if we begin to have Dangote, nobody knows. We may have an Adenuga. We may have other, investors. And when this begin to come on board with the support of the government and the regulatory agencies, you will, of course, going to see that we will not have scarcity in this country. Right? Because, and when there's no scarcity, there won't be inflation. A time will come where we can also go buy fuel at 500 because with now the easier, digitalized licensing and easier movement of things now, it will become, and the transparency, which is the key in the whole issue, you will not even see other investors. And once you see all of that, the production comes in more. If there's not going to be scarcity, then what will lead to inflation? Are we seeing queues on the petrol stations again? We're not seeing queues as it were before, as it were again. So all of these things are the benefit of the PIAs that I want Nigerians to understand.
Okay, and actually, you've spoken to the question I was going to ask, whether this architecture that we have now actually aids fighting corruption, which has just been something that has been part and parcel of that whole sector, according to public reports and commentary. You've actually spoken to it in a number of instances in your last response. So it's going to be easier now, will it not, to monitor any such tendencies. In fact, it's like the opportunity from what you're telling us won't even be there as freely apparently, as it was before.
Exactly. The opportunity now is there, and because, the digitalization of the upstream sector now has made it very easy for you, the media, to know exactly what we are producing, right? So we have digitalized with other artificial intelligence, we have digitalized with other drones, and just to make sure that we are able to monitor the production level, of our crude, to see how we now know what we are producing. In the past, when we are not even told what we are producing, it was just basically an imagination of exactly what we are producing, the barrels we are producing per day. But today, the transparency is that you can see even from your studio, whatever you are now producing as a nation. And because the portal is also there, they are not hiding anything. And that is why I continue to commend the leadership of Engineer Gbenga Komolafe for that transparency, because whatever we are doing as a nation is just that transparency that Nigerians want. I give you an instance in the case of the Ogoni cleanup, where there was spillage years back. That is in Niger State.
Yes.
And it became very difficult for the host communities to even, have water, to have access to good roads and all of that. That is not happening today again. Today, you go to host communities of some of those areas where these productions take places. The investors and also the host communities, with the case supervision of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, they come together, agree in clear terms, and the host communities benefit exactly what is contained in the paper. Not like in the past, when you don't even know what you are gaining and what is coming. So the transparency, in the sense that it has been digitalized, and they cannot actually hide figures or fact from the media, is one thing that we should commend him for. And that's why I call on investors, because today you see the numbers of investors coming in our oil and gas sector, all because they believe in the process, right? And they believe in the regulatory leadership. That is one thing that we should be happy for as a nation.
How does this affect the NNPC, which Nigerians have known as the supplier of petroleum products before the arrival of Dangote, and now even BUA, I understand, is at an advanced stage of completion. How is NNPC going to continue as a player? Yes, you said earlier it is a public, a limited liability company. But does this also put pressure on it in any way to sort of measure up to the new times, or is it just going to be a very smooth transition for it?
Well, like you are much aware that one thing that leads to more transparency, accuracy of data is these side-by-side works, and then having these independent regulatory commissions to begin to work side by side. So if it was to be only NNPC, perhaps what we are actually having in the past was not what Nigerians wanted. And compared to what we are having today, I think I have received a good numbers of commendations in the past that this current leadership of the upstream sector is actually giving to Nigerians what they wanted. So the NNPC is not under any duress. The NNPC is not by any way sidelined. The NNPCL is actually working towards, actualizing that target for Nigerians. And that's why I mentioned that it is now in their domain and in their plan to make sure that they revamp our refineries to work together, because the current production level, while we also try to get to the local consumption before exporting, we also wish that the NNPC will continue to complement the upstream sector in the way that it will be so easier for them to also work together. That is what there's nobody that is being sidelined. It's just try to see that it's a division of labor, so that one party will not actually give and monopolize the whole process without that transparent leadership. That is what it is, that the NNPC is not in any way taking off from this process. But I believe that it is because of these PIAs. Because if you recall, like I mentioned, the implementation of the changing the, turning the NNPC to become a limited liability company is as a result of one of the reforms in the PIAs. And if the regulatory commission that is supposed to, be in the regulatory leadership of all of these reforms do not implement, we will not even have a limited liability companies in the form of NNPC. That is
okay, Dr. Onoja, one moment, please. Let me just take another quick break. I'll be right back to you for our concluding moments on this program. Please stay with me.
In tourism. Let us commit again at the Travel Indaba as Africans to build an inclusive, sustainable and a resilient sector, one that lifts up our communities, that bridges borders and protects our shared heritage in the continent.
It's a pan-African travel show which brings the world to us, but mostly Africans to actually have B2B meetings or business-to-business meetings with other African SMMEs or tour operators. And the value chain of tourism is highly impacted during this period because we get to sign deals, you get to explore our destinations, besides just having meetings.
Okay, then. Thank you very much, Dr. Jonathan Onoja, our in-house expert this morning, public intellectual, public policy strategist. And we've been looking at the role of the media, actually. And, well, he said that there is much work to be done, but at least he didn't. Yeah, he gave it a 50% pass mark. It's now up to the media to, see what he can do to advance that to an excellent score. Because there are societies. I did ask you about whether you, in your opinion, we are where we need to be in terms of the media, in terms of expertise for the media, or whether this was an ongoing process, because there are media houses in Nigeria that have specialist correspondents that can speak, professionally and intelligibly on all sorts of areas, from the economy to the legal to the intelligence. So, what is your thought on this whole area of the media being able to, is it going to be able to better perform the role that we're talking about with more capacity building, or is it your opinion that we actually have enough where we are? It's just that we need to see a lot more frequency in terms of bringing these subject matters to the public arena?
It's exactly, you just answered the question by your last submission.
Okay.
And talking about capacity, I think there is no much capacity than what you are doing now. And so it's just for you to understand the legal framework of the PIAs, the regulatory agencies, and also to follow up, like more of an investigative journalism, to know exactly if what the figure that is outside there is truly what is there, which I know is what is there. So we have seen it is working. I have seen it is working, and that's why I commend that leadership. It is working, and the media ought to go and check whether it is working or not. But I see that when it is working, you will see it, you will feel it. Because I don't think, like you were driving away, maybe when you are driving from your house to the petrol station today, I don't think you need to queue for that 2-3 hours. And so it is because of some of those implementations. And so, like I said, ab initio, the PIA's implementation was like the comprehensive overhaul of our petroleum sector, oil and gas sector, to ensure that we regain back the confidence of investors in the Nigerian sector, in Nigerian oil and gas sector, and which we are already succeeding. And so, what other reforms do we need apart from rather, commending, supporting, and complementing the regulatory agency or commission, which is the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, under the current leadership of Engineer Gbenga Komolafe. So we need as a media, we come together to actually look at those reforms. In what areas are we getting it right? The impactful leadership, the visionary leadership, is it commendable? Yes, it is commendable. And so what next? We now have to actually call on more investors, that the Nigeria now becomes a destination for oil and gas sector, for other expertise and investors across the globe to come in. And that's what the role of the media is. That's why the role of the media is very important in projecting this important leadership and visionary leadership of the current Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to the world, so that when projected, they also know what it takes, what is in there, when they are going to put there, how has it been made easy, how is it transparency, and then how can they now begin to partner with our oil and gas sector to promote and have a better economy. That's what we wanted. And that's what I think the media should be doing.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much. All of this is to just add that so the absolute right decision was taken when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on this very day of his inauguration, some thought he was being precipitate, but on that very day, he signaled that reforms have begun, subsidy is removed. It was absolutely the right decision, and I've been hearing that we simply couldn't have survived much longer if we had continued the way we were going.
Exactly. Thank you. That was actually the true position, because before now, like you said, we're seeing subsidy, and then the subsidy in a way was actually in some sectors. Yes. Not until Mr. President came on board to actually say that subsidy is gone. Today, yes, we are not actually at a face level paying for subsidy, but because of the leadership roles, because of the visionary roles of those managing the regulatory system, you can see that, like you mentioned, Dangote will be supplying more and more. And that's to say that it is because of what he has seen in the current leadership that is making him to invest more in the oil and gas sector, diversifying the economy for the betterment of Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jonathan Onoja, security expert and author, for coming on our program this morning. Really did appreciate your incisive commentary on this subject matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So stay with us. We're going to switch to another subject. It's an important one. It's a human one. We're talking here about retirement, pensions, and the role of even before the role, shall I say, the challenges that retirees are facing in Nigeria of today. As you recall, there was a public protest just I think on Monday, and so we have with us Mr. Mukaila Ogumbote, a NIPOST retiree. He is chairman of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NIPOST in Lagos, and he was national coordinator of the Monday nationwide protest. Good morning to you, sir, Mr. Ogumbote. Can you hear us, Mr. Mukaila Ogumbote? Can you hear us? Okay. You're there. We can see you, so we got 50%. All that is left now is just to get the audio. But this, when it is able to speak with us, it's not a very palatable situation. Can you hear us now, Mr. Mukaila Ogumbote? Can you hear us? Mr. Mukaila Ogumbote. Okay, tell you what, we'll go on a short break, fix this, be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
Experience information and entertainment like never before as TVC Breakfast takes your weekends to a whole new level. Introducing TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, your ultimate source of thrilling sports updates, insightful political analysis, and captivating entertainment news. Stay in the know with what's trending, catch up with the latest in sports, and immerse yourself in the latest buzz from the world of music and movies. Your weekends are no longer just days off, but moments packed with knowledge, excitement, and enjoyment. TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, only on TVC News. The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security.
We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to properly brief the Senate regarding the state of the economy.
What I will never take is threat.
Let's now bring you more development from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where an explosion has taken place. Tell us about this incident.
TVC News. First with breaking news.
Okay, thank you very much for staying with us. Let's try Mr. Mukaila Ogumbote again. He's in the studio. You've seen him. Oh, there you are. Good morning to you, sir. Mr. Mukaila Ogumbote, NIPOST retiree. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, good morning.
Okay, good morning. Actually, you know, I was just saying that you were the coordinator, the national coordinator for Monday's nationwide protest that that retirees, you know, held. And once you're hearing about a protest, it does mean that things are not, you know, all that you require them to be. Things are not the very best. Tell me your experience, sir, as a pensioner, a retiree and pensioner of NIPOST Lagos. Tell me your experience and that of your colleagues. What were you protesting about?
Thank you very much. So what you are protesting about is that July 2024, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved 32,000 naira pension increment for all federal pensioners. Since that July 2024 till now, that money was not implemented in our monthly pension, and the arrears of that money was not paid up till now. So, and if this money was increased in order to put in effect of subsidy effect, that all of us know that it's recorded all the price of good and service in this country. So this is not made pensioners to even afford drug to be used by anything. So it made them die every day, and we are not saying that they cannot continue like this. So we wrote them, we have meeting with them, they are not attend to us, then you are not attending that, okay, let us say protest, let the whole world hear us, to tell the whole world where they are now practicing this kind of pension administration, that federal president approved pension for pensioner, getting to July now will become a year, and that money is not implemented in their monthly pension. That's one of the reasons that they make us to say protect on Monday, 16/6/2025. Another second reason is that October 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved 25,000 palliative money for pensioners, 35,000 for workers, 25,000 for pensioner. They paid the one of workers, they are not paid the one of pensioner since 2023. Nobody got that money. Nobody get it.
From
So we are not
2023,
asking them,
from
are you
20
not
to,
part of-
from 2023, the 25,000 that has been approved as a palliative has not been received. And then there's the 32,000 from 2024, right? That also has somehow become missing in action.
Exactly.
So
on when you now say protest on Monday, they are quickly pay us 3 months and some organization 1 month. So we are not telling them that this month of June, that implementation of that 30,000 must be included in our pension of this June. Failure to do that, we are going back to the protest immediately. Because we cannot
yes,
waste any time again.
who have you been speaking with? Is it the Ministry of Labor, or who has been speaking? Who have you been speaking with?
You are the Minister of Finance, the Accountant General, and Petard.
Okay, and so far you've not had joy.
That 25,000 naira of palliative is Minister of Humanitarian that was able for that responsibility to pay. So the Minister of Finance and Minister of Humanitarian are supposed to pay us that 25,000 palliative. They are not paying up till now.
And that's apart
so
from
what we are now saying that that implementation of that 30,000 is very, very, very paramount to us. And it must be implemented this month of June. That is our mandate.
Okay.
Then and again, the way our manager are paying us our monthly pension is not acceptable to us anymore.
What
now,
is the way and manner?
Paying on the 8th on the 9th of the fellow month. So we are not telling them that pension should pay to us on before 25 of every month.
Okay.
But we are paying pension on the 8th on the 9th. They are killing us.
And this has become and it has been regular. It has been regular.
Yes, it's regular.
Around the 9th.
Yes, we think on before 25 of every month. That's what you want. And when they are paid, they must pay all pensioners at the same time. Not they will pay one department in this week, they will pay another department another week.
Okay, so you in your continuing deliberations with the authorities, you have said to them that it's not satisfactory anymore. Number one, the 32,000 going back to 2024, we want that, and we also want the 25,000 that is coming from 2023. So that we're looking at a sum there of something like 57,000 that has been missing from the receivables of pensioners, right?
Exactly.
You've explained that in the case of the 2023 outstanding 25K, workers were paid, but pensioners were not paid.
6 months. It's 6 months. The federal government approve us.
Okay. Well, first of all, not many Nigerians would have known of this, and that's why it was important that you come and tell us about it. You did have this protest. What were you? Did you get joy? I mean, at the protest, what was the reception? What was sort of promised? What was the response you got on the protest?
Thank you very much. For our people that say protest at the Ministry of Finance, so they said they want to meet one director that promised them that since that they have received their letter and they are now understand their plight, that they will work switch to action to make sure they are paid. But our people now told them that if they are not paid then, before end of this month, they are coming there to say protest on leakage. So at Lagos here, at the Petard office Lagos here, they sent one of the deputy director to us to address us. That's why I said that Petard is working assiduously and they try to collect other agents that is wanting for the payment, that they want to do that our implementation of the 32,000 can be paid this month June, and the GRS will not pay soonest after the implementation of that month is June. So we are now responding to that man that if because promise and faith is what they keep us to this level. The time you promise us, they will fail us. They will continue to appeal to us to be patient, to be patient. You told that man that this is your promise and faith. You don't want it again. The man said that if they are not paid, you have right to our protest. That's why you are now saying that if they are not paid this money on this June, we are coming back for the protest. So then there's a group of people that the type federal government who then 108 months pension arrears. Up till now, they are not paid them.
108 months. Aha. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming in and sharing this with us so that we know, the situation. Mr. Mukaila Ogunbote, I beg your pardon. Mr. Mukaila Ogunbote, he's a NIPOST retiree. So you also and your colleagues are owed a large part of what you have explained from the authorities. At least, thank God, your own is not 108 months. But that there are still, formations that are having to, endure this challenge. Well, now it's out there in the open and hoping something can be done about it. Let me just thank you very much, Mr. Mukaila Ogunbote, NIPOST retiree and chairman of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, NIPOST Lagos. Thank you very much for coming on and airing this subject matter with us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, then. So we're going to have to leave it here for today. That's our program. Do please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
Niger, it's time to rise to victory because season 10 is here.
That you did not come and greet. I'm coming for the crown.
Nigerian Idol needs to bang. You're actually my idol. And say yes from me. That was good. I'm here for a revenge. I'm speechless.
10 seasons of unforgettable talent.
That's the best performance I've had today.
10 seasons of breathtaking performances. And this year, we celebrate the journey like never before.
I'm actually speechless.
I love you.
You're a superstar.
This is more than a competition. It's a celebration of music, passion, and dreams. It's your voice and your victory. Don't miss the biggest season yet. Nigerian Idol Season 10.
Sponsored by Biggie for every moment.
With Glovo, you've got the city at your fingertips. Hanging out with friends and craving fried chicken or smoky jollof with fried plantain? Order on Glovo and receive it in minutes. Running low on toiletries? Don't panic, Glovo's got you. Order on Glovo and receive it in minutes. Family time deserves quality food, so treat them to a sweet surprise. Yummy. Track the rider in real time as your order makes its way to you. Download Glovo, order anything you want and receive it in minutes.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
This Salah, don't just celebrate smart with ShopX TV. For a limited time only, enjoy up to 50% off our best-selling products. That's thousands of naira in savings, but only while stock lasts. Let's kick things off with the ultimate kitchen game changer, the CookX Air Fryer Oven. This is not just an air fryer, it's a rotisserie, a deep fryer, a dehydrator, a grill, an oven, and even a microwave, all in one combat unit. Buying all these separately could cost you over 1.5 million naira. But today, you can get the CookX Air Fryer Oven for just 299,950 naira. But that's not all. Call now and we will slash another 120,000 naira off. That's right. Get these incredible kitchen essential for just 179,950 naira. Save space, save time, save money, and cook like a pro at home. Next up, say goodbye to Canter Cluster and hello to efficiency with the Cook X 4-in-1 blender. This powerhouse blends, juice, grind, and process your food all in one sleek machine. Why buy 4 separate appliances for 600,000 naira when you can get the Cook X 4-in-1 blender from ShopX for just 189,950 naira? And right now, we are taking off 74,000 naira more, bringing the price down to just 115,950 naira. That's premium kitchen tech at an unbeatable price. Now, let's talk about the health and fitness. Why go to the gym when the gym can come to you? Introducing the Ultimate Total Crunch, your complete full body workout system. Tone your abs, sculpt your legs, strengthen your core, and build the upper body, all from the comfort of your home. You'll need multiple machines and a pricey gym membership to get the same results, costing up to 5 million naira. But right now on ShopX TV, get the Ultimate Total Crunch for just 445,950 naira. And yes, we are knocking off 100,000 naira more. You pay only 345,950 naira for the fitness machine that does it all. But the smartest move of all? Get our Salah Health and Home bonus. All 3 of these amazing products in one unbeatable package. Get the Cook X Air Fryer Oven, the Cook X 4-in-1 blender, and the Ultimate Total Crunch for just 551,850 naira. That's almost 1 million naira in savings. Call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code to claim your discount. These deals are exclusive to ShopX TV and are only available for a limited time. Celebrate smart this Salah only on ShopX TV.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Is my fatherland. God bless Akwa.
We will invite all Akwa Ibomites to arise to the faith of greatness with our Rise agenda.
The sun is rising, the land is peaceful. It's so amazing that I can see.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and thanks for joining us. This is TVC Media News. Now let's begin with this report. 36 state governors in Nigeria have agreed to stop illegal roadblocks and multiple taxes across the country. They made the resolution after a meeting of the Nigeria Governors Forum in Abuja. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who read the communique at the end of the meeting, said the governors resolved to remove illegal roadblocks and multiple taxes, which they say was responsible for food inflation in the country. The communique was signed by Chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak. The forum received a briefing from the National Security Advisor, accompanied by the Honorable Ministers of Defense, Agriculture, Livestock Development, and Transportation on the rising cost of food and livestock transportation across the country. And now to developments in Benue State, where the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said informants played active roles in recent attacks in the state. The CDX explained that investigations suggest the targets were carefully picked by the assailant, but assured that justice will be served. Sifon Essien reports.
It's a string of attacks that continues to dominate discussion until those responsible are brought to book.
Barely 24 hours after President Tinubu in Benue State tasked security chiefs to go after those behind the killings in the state, Chief of Defense Staff gives an insight to the roles played by informants.
The places they bombed were targeted. There were specific areas, and those areas were where the IDPs were staying. Now the question is, those guys that did it, how did they know that this is where those IDPs were staying? So I'm talking about the communities. Even within the communities, they have people giving information as to what is happening within communities. And those are the things we're saying. And it is because when something lasts for a very long time, you get to have distance. It happens everywhere as a human nature. So what do we do is, what do we do to mitigate such things?
He explains that there was an earlier attack on the same day that turned out to be a decoy.
Because of the insider information, that actual day that it happened, the troops were there. There was a fake attack in another village. When the troops moved in, that's when they now came in to attack this other one. And that's what happens, because there are people telling them, okay, the troops are here, the troops are there. I can tell you consistently, if troops are moving on operation, there are people that are monitoring them, tell them 3 vehicles, this number of soldiers, this number of this is what they are doing. People are giving them that information. People take food to them. People take even women to go and give them, to tell you how bad it is and how sad the situation is.
Beyond the attacks in Benue, conflicts in the Sahel continue to present threats to Nigeria's internal security.
Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso are going through so much stress. If you leave them the way they are going in the next 1 year, those countries are not, I'm afraid they might collapse. And once they do, Nigeria is the target. And we must be proactive now.
Yes, we are not there yet. Yes, it is still work in progress. But we have seen a renewed vigor. We have seen a renewed commitment. We have also seen a new cohesion and unity within all the parts of our armed forces to ensure that we win this war.
For now, the government is pursuing a whole-of-society approach in tackling security challenges in the country. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has commended the service chiefs for 2 years of strengthening national security across the country. Speaking during a high-level meeting with media executives and other stakeholders at the Defense Headquarters,